November's upon us, and if the approach of winter has you feeling down, fret not, because there's a bountiful cornucopia of great new streaming content for you to feast your eyes and ears upon. And I guess your hands, if you don't mind getting gravy fingerprints all over your TV. Here is some of the biggest stuff coming to streaming in November 2021. As always, these dates and titles are for what's in the US, so if you live elsewhere, check your local listings, and please forgive my Thanksgiving jokes. On November 12th, Disney Plus is celebrating its second anniversary with a very special Disney Plus Day full of content to convince you not to cancel your subscription. That includes an MCU special, which will supposedly take a look ahead at what's in store, but probably has a lot of backpadding and archival footage. If you're not entirely up to date on the MCU, great news, because Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings hits the streaming service that day, as well as a regular, non-premiere movie that you can watch without shelling out an extra $30. And the same goes for Jungle Cruise, which you can watch The Rock and Emily Blunt and that computer tiger do all sorts of stuff on the ride movie. Also, there's apparently some sort of Star Wars holiday special involving Boba Fett, and hopefully it doesn't involve B. Arthur singing like the last one he was in.
Good night, but not goodbye.
Still on the 12th, the D Plus original Home Sweet Home Alone drops a red-hot clothes iron directly down a laundry chute onto your childhood's face, performing a ruthless B&E on the timeless classic. Honestly, there have been Home Alone sequels that look way worse than this one, and I'm dying to see how they tackle the return of Kevin's older brother, Buzz McAllister, who's apparently a police officer now. What could go wrong? Does he still have the tarantula? I think the tarantula's probably dead by now. I guess we'll have to wait and see. On the 24th, you can check out the first 2 episodes of Hawkeye, which look to be taking some cues from the Matt Fraction Hawkeye comic run, which probably means Jeremy Renner getting the crap kicked out of him, but also Lucky the dog, who's wearing a Santa Claus hat on the poster. I'm sold. On the 25th, the 3-part Beatles documentary series Get Back kicks off, giving an in-depth look at the production of their final album, Let It Be, which had the working title of Get Back. This is courtesy of producer Peter Jackson, who's restored and pulled from hundreds of hours of never-before-seen archival footage, kind of like he did for his World War I documentary, They Shall Not Grow Old. Fingers crossed that the Beatles recording their last album is slightly less depressing than the Western Front. Switching gears to HBO Max, you can check out King Richard on the 19th, a historical drama starring Will Smith as Richard Williams, the father and coach of tennis champs Venus and Serena. Anyway, over on Amazon Prime, we've got another historical drama with the electrical life of Louis Wayne on November 5th, which stars Benedict Cumberbatch as the late 19th century illustrator, famous for his pictures of cats who slowly succumb to schizophrenia that may or may not have been exacerbated from toxoplasmosis, a parasite found in cat feces. That sounds depressing as hell, and I bet you $20 my mom is going to try to sell me on it at Thanksgiving, but she'll have forgotten the title by then. On the 19th, Amazon's latest epic fantasy series, The Wheel of Time, premieres, undertaking the arduous task of adapting Robert Jordan's hilariously verbose book series to the streaming platform. If you're unfamiliar, there are 14 books in this series, weighing in at a total of over 10,000 pages, and it'll be interesting to see how far they can get in 6 episodes of an Amazon show. On the 24th, Amazon original series Hannah returns for Season 3, which is good for anybody itching to watch a teenage girl kick an entire SWAT team's ass, and really, who doesn't love to see that now and then? Huzzah! Over on Hulu, Season 2 of The Great drops all at once on the 19th, seeing the return of Elle Fanning and Nicholas Hoult as the foul-mouthed Russian royal duo, getting into all sorts of bawdy misadventures that probably involve some combination of sex, violence, wild animals, vodka, resplendent costumes, and maybe bodily fluids. As usual, Netflix has a ton in store. On the 3rd, there's the revenge western The Harder They Fall, with a phenomenal cast including Idris Elba, Jonathan Majors, Zazie Beetz, Regina King, Lakeith Stanfield, and Delroy Lindo. On the 5th, prepare yourself for more uncomfortable locker room talk and awkward adolescence with Season 5 of Big Mouth. Also that day is the 3rd and final season of Narcos Mexico, which probably, hopefully, has less locker room scenes. On the 6th, the League of Legends animated series Arcane premieres, with new episodes dropping every week after that. Then on the 12th, the action comedy feature film Red Notice premieres, starring Deadpool, Wonder Woman, and the Scorpion King. Those people all have real names, but they're famous enough that you already know them based on what I just said. On the 17th, Tiger King 2 drops, and I don't know about all of you, but I feel like Tiger King 1 was kind of a right place, right time kind of situation. But if you're curious how many of the key players from Season 1 have wound up dead or in jail who weren't already dead or in jail, well, tune in and find out for yourself. On the 19th, it's time to blow this scene, get everybody in the stuff together, and 3, 2, 1, let's jam on Season 1 of the long-awaited live-action Cowboy Bebop, and based on the trailers, this looks so much better than I was expecting, but I still have some mixed feelings. At the very least, it's gonna have a killer soundtrack. And hey, the original series is also streaming, so, you know, if you're feeling divided on this, maybe you could just pull that up on your phone while you're watching the live-action one on your TV, and that way it's like you're seeing the past through one eye and the present through the other. Like Spike, right? Anyway, if you're after a Netflix show that pisses nerds off by making changes to a beloved animated series without switching it to live action, Part 2 of Masters of the Universe Revelation kicks off, and it might be divisive, but it resulted in a brand new Stinkor action figure, and that is a net positive as far as I'm concerned. He's the skunk guy. I don't think the new toy stinks, though. Speaking of horrible-smelling cartoon characters, over on Paramount Plus, the live-action feature film of Clifford the Big Red Dog premieres on the 10th, and that movie looks like a nightmare. Or a commercial for like like anxiety medication, and the dog represents your anxiety and he just follows you around. I didn't make that joke up, somebody else made that on Twitter, but it's true. If you want to watch a streaming show about Jeremy Renner probably not doing archery, unlike in Hawkeye, there's also the series premiere of Mayor of Kingstown on the 14th, and if you want to watch a show where Jeremy Renner has been dead for hundreds of years, Star Trek Discovery takes place in the far-off year of 2256, and a new season of that premieres on the 19th. Then again, Jeremy Renner did have his own dedicated smartphone app, so who knows? Maybe he'll have his entire consciousness backed up and implanted into vat-grown bodies of himself, and he can achieve immortality and continue his musical career into the distant future, depicted in Star Trek Discovery.
Unpredictable, I gotta tell you.
Over on Crunchyroll, check out Tokyo Revengers on the 2nd, which looks and sounds a little like Yu Yu Hakusho, but with time travel instead of like ghosts and demons in the afterlife and whatnot. Then on the 8th, Cadus Itrama Durezel and his pal Frankenstein have more antics in Noblesse. I probably pronounced some of those words wrong. And on the 15th, Tsukimichi Moonlight Fantasy is back for more, fantasizing by the light of the moon. Probably. I do not watch those television programs, if you couldn't tell. And there you have it, a big, huge pile of all the streaming stuff that is coming out this month, and it's really only just the tip of the iceberg because we live in the age of non-stop streaming content constantly. I don't think you can watch all of it in 1 month unless you don't sleep, in which case, I don't know. Anyway, which Jeremy Renner project are you most excited for, and more importantly, how do you think they bathe that Clifford, the big red dog? I bet they make him go through a car wash, but he's scared of it, so they have to give him Benadryl first, but he's huge, so they have to give him like a truckload of it, which is a whole problem entirely. I can't wait to see that movie. I wonder if they do anything weird like that in it. And with that, I will see you next month. Thank you for watching. We love you dearly. I'm sorry about my jokes. I try to have fun with this. It's kind of a boring video if I don't. See you next time.